Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Jamie, the crafty DIY guy. Welcome to my channel. And it's not a fall DIY video. Now I'm super excited about today's video because all of these projects feature Dollar Tree items. They are all items that you can very easily make that have a very high-end look and feel about them. If you are one of my subscribers, you know who you guys are. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you are one of my original gang, my OGs, thank you all so much for sticking with me this entire time. I really appreciate it. If you're brand new to the channel or checking me out for the first time, maybe even YouTube recommended the video to you, thank you, YouTube. But I hope that you'll enjoy these projects and you'll get inspired to create some amazing things on your own. All right, let's get into that video. All right, everyone, and for project number one, we're going to use 2 of these pencil holders that I picked up from Dollar Tree in the back to school section. Also, I have 2 of these bamboo cutting boards, one from a previous project. That's why it's a little bit darker, but we are going to move forward. I'm rolling out my Katch crafting mat because this is going to catch all of the paint and the stain and all of the just miscellaneous little particles that I don't want to transfer over to my nice clean white surface that I have down below there. What's great about this is that it does have that temporary adhesive back, so it will easily peel off. It's kind of like a giant post-it note. I actually really like it. So since I've got one cutting board already stained, I am going to go ahead and just remove this plastic. This is probably the hardest part of anything with these cutting boards. And then I'm going to take my Waverly antiquing wax out, and I'm just going to try and match up that color. I believe that this is going to be really easy to do because I just usually kind of puddle up some of my antiquing wax, just like you see there, and then I'm just going to rub it on my wood cutting board, kind of like so. And I will do the sides of this as well as the front, and then I'll go ahead and just touch up the other one that I had as well, just so everything has a nice fresh clean look to it. And for this particular one, I am doing the sides as well. I'm not going to do the backs on either one of these. They're going to hang up against the wall. If you want to do the backs, by all means, please certainly go for it and do it. They are you know, total personal choice there. Anytime I'm using antiquing wax, by the way, I'm always using a rag that I picked up from Dollar Tree. And as you can see, I think I did a pretty good job matching these up. Now I took my pencil cases outside and I am just going to spray paint those. I'm using Rust-Oleum's matte black paint. And again, this is one of my favorite paints to use. I love working with this. And I'm just giving everything a really good coat. This paint works really well on plastic, and I'm just going to go around and make sure that I'm getting the sides and everything. Again, for this, I'm not painting the backs of these because they are going to end up being stuck to the boards. Now, to stick these to the boards, I'm using my Surebonder all-purpose glue here. I'm just going around the edge there where you see that orange trim because that is the flattest part. I did add a very generous amount of hot glue there. I kind of put it on top of the board, but I didn't hold it down until I knew it was straight, and I used my popsicle stick just to make sure. And you've got the cutest little sconces that you can put faux plants in, you can put florals in, you could do a lot of different things. I love the kind of industrial vibe that these have. And what I think about these is that they could be really useful for a lot of different things. Unfortunately, they're not watertight. I did try, but I think they're pretty cool otherwise. All right, project number 2 started off with a broken piece here that I didn't expect. We're going to be making a very simple tray. You've seen this tray done 1,000 times, but now is the time to buy these trays because you can use them for all kinds of future DIY. So for this one, I'm going to give it a little bit of a repair job. I stepped on it. It was on the floor. It shouldn't have been on the floor. I stepped on it. It was totally my bad. But I knew I couldn't go out to Dollar Tree and get another one of these, so I'm just going to add a little bit of my Surebonder hot glue right there on the side. And I'm putting it flat down on that mat because that mat is also a Surebonder mat, and it's not going to stick. that's the great thing about that silicone mat. So now after I've got everything glued together and it's all nice and solid, I am going to take a popsicle stick and break it in half and then just kind of glue it on the ends there just to help reinforce it, just to make sure that it stays nice and strong, and just kind of peel away or, rub away any of the glue that might have oozed out. All right, now that my tray is fixed, we're going to use these pearl gem stickers. I love these. They come in a strand or a strip where they're already peeled or already adhesed. Adhesed, is that a word? Adhesed together. And I am going to just simply take those and do a trim around the edge of this tray. Again, this is not rocket science. A lot of people are doing these, but I'm telling you, if you want to be able to have tray options for the fall or for Christmas time, buy as many of these summer trays as you can and then do things like this to really enhance them or update them. Imagine if you had like one that was spray painted orange and one that was spray painted a fall like hunter green and one maybe that was red and white. You can tape these off with masking tape. There's a lot of different fun things that you can do with these. And, this pearl trim that I'm doing has been done 1,000 different times. But again, it's such a great item to have in your DIY stash. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that you grab as many of these as possible. Now I'm going to take my tray outside and I'm just going to spray paint it with my matte black spray paint from Rust-Oleum. Again, this is my favorite paint. This is also a vibe that is kind of, normal in my house. I kind of have a more industrial, more masculine vibe in my house. You could spray paint this white. It would be absolutely gorgeous. A bronze or a metallic color would also be incredible. And then I just styled it with some stuff that I had on my coffee table already. I took the tray. That's an antique meter reader for like a voltage meter. I picked that up at an estate sale for $20 and thought that was really, really cool. And of course, had to have it in my house. And then I just styled it with some books and a plant that I picked up from Michael's. And you've got a very cool looking tray. And you can't even tell where the area that was broken. All right, project number, I've lost count on how many projects. 2 of these wood blocks from Crafter Square, some of these mini clothespins from Crafter Square, and then some of these barbecue skewers that I picked up also. I really liked this, and when I was shopping with my friend John Paul and his mom, she actually kind of came up with this idea, so huge credit to her. And also Chemo Crafts, if you're not familiar with Chemo, you should definitely check out his channel. He came up with some very similar items to this that he made with the Dollar Tree race cars from Crafter Square, and you have to check them out because they are absolutely adorable. Now, for my blocks here, I am just going to use my antiquing wax. And, with these blocks, it's really funny because one side or 2 sides of them are super, super rough. And they just don't take the antiquing wax very well. I was really kind of disappointed with this. So I kind of had to just kind of glob it on there, and it turned out really dark. And I may end up totally repainting all these when I'm done. But the sides I actually really, really like. So I'm just going to go forward with the antiquing wax because, again, it's going to kind of fit with the vibe of my home and my kitchen and everything and my living room. And but I probably would maybe paint these if I were going to do this again. I don't know, just something to think about. So once I've got everything completely stained with my antiquing wax, then I did go ahead and drill a hole down the center of them with my Ryobi cordless drill here. I love this drill. I keep it right next to my craft table. I keep all of the drill bits and everything really close by as well because I always end up losing them. I try my best anyway to keep them next to me. They end up in the most random places. I don't know if you guys do that too, but like mine, I'll find them in like a, in the remote control holder in the living room, or like wherever. So now I'm going to take my skewers and I'm going to trim these down, and I'm going to make them at 2 different heights. And I'm going to make sure first that they do fit inside the hole there. And then I do go back in and I add some hot glue. And then I just kind of adjust because my holes were not exactly straight that I drilled in there. So taking my Lineman Pliers again and just kind of trimming them down to the 2 different heights, sinking them down in that hole, adding some hot glue now that I've got my 2 varying heights all set up and ready to go. And then I'm going to take my mini clothespins and I'm going to start to glue these at the top of those skewers. Now, these mini clothespins, I've not seen these at my Dollar Tree before. I saw these when I was out with John Paul and his mom doing our shopping haul. And that video, by the way, I will link below. That way you guys can check it out, because for the month of July and August, all of the revenue that's generated from that video is going to be donated to autism awareness. So definitely check that video out if you haven't seen it. So this is what it looks like for some family photos. Super, super cute. You could do this. You could put anything on this, really. But, of course, I had to get a little baby picture of Mr. Otis, and then that's some random family that I grabbed off the internet. And then what a great idea for your kitchen, for reminders that you need to pick up bread and milk and flowers and butter. I guess I'm making a cake at the grocery store. I think that there's a lot of really cool, fun uses for this. Now, for the next DIY, this is also a John Paul's mom-inspired DIY. We were shopping around and collaborating and, just kind of, oh, what if you did this? What if you did this? And I already had this blue bowl, but I did not have that black basket. So I picked up that black basket during my haul. I'm going to take my wood burning tool here. If you don't have a wood burning tool, you should definitely get one, especially if you're trying to make holes in plastic. I went ahead and made about 8 holes, and I did them fairly close together. And now I'm just taking some wire and I'm going to feed it through the hole. And then, as you will see here, now I'm going to start to just twist it together. That way I can really make sure that basket is nice and tight on top of that plastic bowl. I was originally going to use just hot glue on this, but I thought that just wouldn't hold very well. And I wanted something that was going to be a little more sturdier, because as you see, I do kind of put something that's a little heavy in this design when it's all done, or this DIY when it's all done. So everything is wired together now, and it's ready to go outside and start to be spray painted. I'm going to be using my terracotta spray paint. I think this is also a Rust-Oleum product, and I do love this spray paint as well. I just kept everything faced down, and I'm going to spray paint it my terracotta and just kind of work around all sides. And then after it was dry, I almost kept it blue, but because I love my blue. And I'm going to go ahead and just terracotta it up and make sure that everything is covered nicely with this terracotta paint. I did go through and do 2 coatings or 2 coverings of the terracotta, and when it's all done and styled, this is what it looks like on my coffee table right now. I added some of that garland. Don't worry, the garland is far enough away from the flame of the candle. I added that large pillar candle in the middle there. I also added some lamb's ear, and I've got it styled with the previous DIY that I made a couple videos ago. And again, I think that this is really super, super cute. It's a new kind of a different twist on a raised planter, but again, something that is super, super fun. And you can do a lot of different things with that planter, candle holder, all of the above. All right, we are now going to be using these coasters that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and these are in the area where all the kind of tiki Hawaii stuff is, some tacky glue, and then I have this great vase that I love from Dollar Tree, and these ridiculous stickers that are so hard to come off, but I am going to go ahead and finally just peel that off with my heat gun. Now, these coasters I thought were super cool. I picked these up during my shopping haul with John Paul's mom. And again, if you're not familiar with that video, check it out. All of the proceeds for that video for the month of July and August are going to be donated to autism awareness. I'm using my spray glue that I picked up, spraying it right on top of my floral. I'm going to let it just kind of sit for a minute, and then I'm going to stick it to the side of my glass. Now, I will tell you, these don't stick right away. You almost want to let your glue get a little tacky. And then once it does start to dry, then you just kind of take your finger like I'm doing here and just kind of pat it down and make sure that all areas are touching your vase. And this worked out really, really good, actually. You do need to make sure that you put a fairly generous amount of hot glue on this, or not hot glue, the spray glue. But you can go back through with hot glue if you need to, and just kind of maybe pick up some of the corners or anything like that. I went through and I'm just taking my flowers and literally using my Katch crafting mat there and just spraying this. I'm doing this even inside, which I know is probably not the best, but it was dark outside. So now I'm taking my my last couple of flowers here, and again, just using that same technique and holding it down in certain areas, and you can see, you know, it's starting to come up on the one side, but then you just kind of go through with your finger and just kind of keep literally tapping until everything is adhered and everything is stuck down, and then eventually everything does grab hold, and you will have a very cool looking vase that has these flowers. But we're not done with this yet. So after I get this last one adhered, and this one was a little bit of a booger bear. He wasn't wanting to stick down, so I just kind of held it. I don't recommend like putting masking tape or anything like that, because I'm afraid that if you oversprayed any of the glue, it might stick to the tape. So just kind of hold it. You'll start to see. Now, this is where I was a total bonehead. I did not record me spray painting. So forgive me, but this is what it looks like. Now, the coasters are foam, so they don't, the spray paint doesn't really stick super well to these. If I were to do this again, I'd probably cover the coasters with maybe some Mod Podge or something like that. But I ended up doing about 3 coats on this, and a lot of it was concentrated on those flower areas. But I'm pretty happy with it, I have to say. The kind of slight purple that's coming through, I think, is being picked up because the wall behind it is purple. But again, I'm still really happy with the way this looks. I think that this is super cool looking. I even think if you wanted to use that, what's it called, that caulking that you can get at Dollar Tree, and then also do this, that could be really fun too. I think that this is a lot of really cool, fun ideas, and I love the way that this turned out. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In today's video, everything is featuring, because everything is Dollar Tree DIYs. Literally everything in this video of 4 or 5 projects. How many projects? Project. Literally, I don't think that there's not even a, I can't talk this morning. I need coffee. In 5, 4, whoa. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed these projects today. If you did, let me know which ones were your favorite below. Also, feel free to like and comment and all the other things. If you're not following me on other social media platforms like TikTok or Twitter or Pinterest or Facebook, definitely check me out at the Crafty DIY Guy. I've got that name everywhere. And of course, here on YouTube. Hopefully you'll become a subscriber and you'll be part of the Crafty DIY Guy family. All right, guys, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.